HOA Karen tries to drain my pond because frogs are too loud. It's a protected wetland. My property is what they call an ecological gem, but to my neighbor, it was just a swamp. I own 10 acres of low-lying land that includes a 3-acre natural pond. It's ancient. It was here before the town, before the roads, and certainly before the Crystal Lake Estates subdivision that was built on the ridge overlooking my valley. I'm David, a retired environmental biologist and a black man who moved back to the family homestead to preserve the land. The pond is noisy. In the spring and summer, the chorus of spring peepers, bullfrogs, and tree frogs can reach 80 decibels. To me, it's a symphony of life. To Sylvia, the new resident of the McMansion directly bordering my north fence, it was noise pollution. Sylvia was the type of woman who thought nature should be silent unless it was a bird singing a song she liked. She moved in 3 months ago and immediately started filing complaints. She called the police for disturbing the peace, the frogs. She called the health department for breeding mosquitoes. My fish eat the larvae, so there aren't any. She even called the zoning board to claim I was running an illegal amphitheater because the sound carried. Every time, she was told that wildlife making noise is not a crime. But Sylvia didn't accept no. She saw me working in my garden, and she saw a problem. She saw a black man with a dirty piece of land that was ruining her luxury experience. She walked down to my fence line one evening, holding a glass of wine and looking like she smelled something rotten. "You," she shouted. "You need to do something about those things. I can't sleep. It sounds like a jungle out here." I walked over, wiping dirt from my hands. "Good evening, Sylvia. They're just frogs. It's mating season. It'll quiet down in a few weeks." "It's unbearable." She snapped. "It's aggressive, just like everything else down here. You need to spray them or fill it in. My husband knows a contractor who can pave over that mud hole for a decent price. It would improve your property value. Make it look civilized." Civilized, I repeated, tasting the word. "Sylvia, this pond is a healthy ecosystem. I'm not paving it. I'm not poisoning it by a white noise machine. Don't you speak to me like that." She shrieked. "I have rights. I have a right to quiet enjoyment. If you won't fix this nuisance, I will." I didn't think much of it. I thought she was just venting. I was wrong. I woke up at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday to a mechanical roar. It wasn't a tractor. It was a pump. A big one. I grabbed my flashlight and ran down to the pond. There she was. Sylvia had dragged a gas-powered trash pump, probably rented, down the steep hill from her yard to the edge of my pond. She had thrown the intake hose into the water and run the discharge hose. Nowhere. She hadn't thought that far ahead. The discharge hose was flailing around on the bank, spraying muddy pond water all over her silk pajamas in her own backyard. She was screaming at the pump, trying to make it go faster. "Die? Die, you noisy little bastards." She was yelling. "Sylvia," I shouted, shining the light on her. She spun around, blinding herself in the beam. "You," she screamed over the engine noise. "I'm draining it. I'm draining the swamp. Then you'll have to leave." "Turn it off," I yelled. "You are committing a federal crime. I'm cleaning up the neighborhood." She retorted. "Someone has to take charge since you people are content to live in squalor." There it was. The mask was off. She didn't just hate the frogs. She hated that I was there, living my life on land she felt she deserved to control. She turned back to the pump. "I'm getting rid of the water. No water, no frogs." I didn't argue. I pulled out my phone. I didn't call the sheriff first. I called the state game warden. I have his personal number because my pond is designated as a critical habitat. See, Sylvia didn't know that my mud hole is home to the Rana capito, the gopher frog, a state endangered species. And she certainly didn't know that disturbing the habitat of an endangered species is a felony. The game warden arrived before the sheriff. His name is Officer Grant. He takes his job very seriously. He walked down the hill, saw the pump sucking water out of the critical habitat, saw the muddy discharge killing the native ferns, and saw Sylvia covered in muck. He pulled his weapon. Not a gun, but a ticket book the size of a dictionary. "Ma'am," Grant shouted. "Step away from the equipment." Sylvia looked up, seeing the uniform. "Finally, officer, help me. This man is harassing me. I'm just trying to sleep." "You are actively draining a protected wetland," Grant said, his voice cold. "You are in violation of the Endangered Species Act, the Clean Water Act, and state wildlife conservation laws. Sheriff Miller arrived moments later. He saw the setup and shook his head. Sylvia again? He asked me. She's trying to drain the pond, I said, because the frogs are loud. She's destroying the breeding ground, Grant added, taking photos of the pump. This is a major violation. We're talking tens of thousands in fines. And jail time. Sylvia turned off the pump. The silence was sudden and heavy. What? She whispered. It's just a pond. It's just frogs. They're pests. They are protected wildlife, Grant said. And you are trespassing on Mr. King's land to destroy them. You crossed a property line to commit an environmental crime. But I'm the victim, she wailed, pointing at me. He keeps this filth here on purpose. He does it to annoy us. He's the nuisance. Ma'am, Sheriff Miller said. You are covered in mud, trespassing at 2 a.m., operating heavy machinery illegally. You are under arrest. They cuffed her. She slipped in the mud she had created and fell flat on her face. It took 2 deputies to haul her up the hill. The pump was seized as evidence. The fallout was catastrophic for her. The EPA got involved because of the sediment runoff she caused. She was hit with $50,000 in fines for habitat destruction. She was charged with criminal trespass and malicious mischief. She spent a week in jail because the judge considered her a flight risk after she screamed that she would move to a white neighborhood during her arraignment. Her husband divorced her 3 months later. Apparently, the legal fees drained their savings. She had to sell the house. The new owners are a nice young couple who are bird watchers. They love the frogs. And me? I sit on my porch in the evenings, listening to the peepers. They seem a little louder this year. Almost like they're singing a victory song. Sylvia wanted silence. But all she got was the sound of a jail cell door slamming shut. I have a question for you guys. Do you think the $50,000 fine was enough for trying to destroy an entire ecosystem? Or should she have served actual prison time? Let me know in the comments below. If you loved seeing this nature-hating Karen get stuck in the mud, smash that like button and subscribe.